It is Monday, February 5th, 2024, and um, it is somebody else's birthday today, too. Lots of birthdays. Um, so, trying to think about what. Today was good. Uh, the simulations I ran over the weekend went well. Um, kind of trying to find different ways to interpret the data to figure out things. Um, so one of them I just thought I would explain, and then I also just thought no, so I won't. Uh, uh, so yeah, man, I'm trying to think of things. Uh, so the free lunches are gone. I just had a peanut butter and jelly as usual. Um, kind of developed a headache in the afternoon. So instead of like going back to the lab after lunch, I kind of just hung out at my desk and did stuff there. Uh, trying to think. Trying to think if there's anything else before the big thing that happened, which is that they had a comedy show at work after work. Um, so they brought in somebody uh, who used to be an engineer turned comedian, and it was pretty good. It was, yeah, he was pretty funny, and he even made some jokes specifically about like what we do. So yeah, it was pretty good. Um, I think there are some people around the company that kind of think, oh yeah, things like that, you know, a great way for management to try to keep people happy while not fixing any issues. It's like, well, I don't know. If they're gonna do stuff like this, you might as well enjoy it, you know. There's no reason to be a stick in the mud about it. Um, I don't know. You can find and will find at a company like people willing to say any bad reason for pretty much anything that happens, and some people are just cynical, and I think that our work kind of tends that direction. Uh, and I think a lot of times people also like for comedy specifically, sometimes people will like try to put on a blank face for a comedy. Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like, you know, they're it's like they're there for some other reason besides laughing, you know. Being too uptight is not really what it's all about. And I think probably um I think honestly, uh I was willing to laugh a little bit more than at least the people around me were. Um, like if there was, if I found anything that was attempting to be funny, I kind of chuckled at it, and it's not necessary, it's the whole authenticity thing again. It's not that I was faking laughing, but I don't know. I think it has to do with like recording videos and streaming so much. It's like, that's well, and also actually, so I played in the pit in a few musicals, um, and it's really interesting because we had some shows where just like the audience was not into it. I didn't do. I mean, the shows that I was in were definitely comedy shows. Well, actually, no, that's not necessarily true. Um, One of them was not. One of them was more of an art piece. and but the other two were like, comedies with a point, which a lot of good musical theater is. Um, and so for the comedy shows, there's just some times where it's like there were some shows where just the audience was not into it, and the the things, they were just not getting good reaction, and like everybody just felt so dead. Not the audience, like you can't really control what the audience does, to a large extent, but um like it just in the pit and on the stage, it just everybody would, it just felt like you I don't know. So I don't know. I think I tried to, not intentionally necessarily, but I think I'm more willing to appreciate the attempt. This feels really bad to say. It was actually a really good show, and he had some great jokes. But also part of it, I think, is maybe that I'm I analyze it a little differently because of however many hours I've spent trying to be entertaining. Because sometimes if something isn't funny, it's hard to tell if it's a joke or not. But also sometimes it's like, oh yeah, no, this is the setup. This is there's the punchline. Got it. And then sometimes maybe that can, maybe having experienced trying to be entertaining for so long, like I say so long, I have like, of all the people who have tried to be entertainers, I'm probably in like the bottom 1% of time spent, to be fair. Uh, but maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not as jaded. I don't know. I don't know that it really needs to have an explanation. But I don't know. The audience. So part of it is that you feel like a failure if something doesn't hit, or if everything doesn't hit, like for some of the shows that I did. Um, but part of it is also, I mean, maybe it's not strictly the case, but you know, it affects how you actually do, you know? And it's the whole subjective versus objective thing. Um, when you're performing, you're so you put yourself out there so much. You're like so vulnerable, to some extent, that it's really hard to. I mean, if you have a bad show, it can be really hard to separate that emotionally until you have like tons of experience, which I don't think. I don't know. I don't know if that ever actually happens. I don't have the tons of experience, so don't ask. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Is that a thing? Does that make sense? Is that like a so like when you first start doing things and you're really trying to put yourself out there, um, a lot of your responses are emotional responses, and then as you do more and as you get more experience, you're able to like think more objectively about things, or you just don't care as much, or I don't know. I guess that makes sense. I don't think I've ever exactly thought about it in those words before. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just making stuff up or not. But yeah, no. It was really funny. He even used like the company PowerPoint template for all of his slides because yes, he did slides. This was a presentation for, it was a comedy show for engineers. He did use PowerPoint and he did use slides, but it was actually too funny. I mean, yeah, I think the best thing all night was the fact that he actually did use our company templates PowerPoint for like all of his slides. And he mentioned it at the beginning, but like no, he did it all the way through. Like he totally could have just done like the first 5 slides and be like, haha, that's funny. but no, he actually did. It was great. Uh, the food could have been better. Like all the steaks at my table were overcooked, but I mean, it was still good enough. Excuse me. He got the name of the town wrong. uh, he had a bit with the weather that he put the wrong town into his search bar, and it was kind of funny. I think it was more funny because he got the name wrong than because of the actual joke. Uh, but that could be the thing too. Like he kind of just maybe he in his delivery just kind of abandoned the joke and just kind of wanted to move on to the next one. Whereas maybe it normally plays better. I don't know. Comedy's weird. Comedy is totally weird. And if you go to a comedy show, maybe spare a chuckle or two for the unfunny jokes, because first of all, that's what you're there for, and second of all, maybe they need to hear it. I don't know. Sometimes it's like, the role of the audience is to watch, but not not necessarily. If if you as an audience are dead, then maybe maybe the thing on stage will be too. I don't know. It's just a really interesting thing. It's like, I don't know. And maybe it's not the job of the audience to like uh no, I think it is. I think, I don't know. Or maybe it's like an appreciation thing. Like, maybe modern art isn't your thing, but then you take a uh an art appreciation class and you're like, "Oh no, no, I get it now. It it makes sense." They're trying to do something different. But maybe like a comedy appreciation. Is there a comedy appreciation course? I don't know. Anyway, I've been talking about this for too long, and I don't know if I actually had a point or not, but I don't know. Spare a laugh or two if you think of that. And I guess that's it.